Welcome back to my channel where I share bits of my life and my hobbies and my puppy doggo that wants to be here. What's up? It's like he knows. I literally just turned on the camera and he's like, I want to be here too. So welcome back. In today's video, we are going to talk about my 5-star reads. For me to be a 5-star read, I need to feel like I am just into this world that this author has created, and I just forget that I'm reading, and it's just that feeling of like, I can't put this book down. Like, it is so good, I can't put it down. That's how I want to feel for me to give it a 5-star read. Let's get into it. I'm listening to music, so if I break out into song, just know I'm also listening to music. The first book is Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. This is so good. A beautiful, heart-wrenching, funny, amazing book. I'm not a big memoir kind of person, like that's not a genre that I usually read, but I loved him and I had to pick it up and it's wonderful, so loved it. So the next book, we read this book in my book club and we all loved it. It was wonderful. It is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Literally feels like fall and just cozy, witchy, beautiful yumminess. So I love this. It is a witch that isn't allowed to like do magic because she lives in, you know, amongst humans and they can't know, and then she's just trying to help these young 3 witches able to control their magic, because when you're young it's like uncontrollable. If you want a cozy book to welcome in fall, read this book. It is so cute, so adorable. I loved it. 5 stars. Love, 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 love. Tucker's literally so you're here, Tucker's sitting on the couch right here, so it's like I'm actually talking to Tucker. Okay, so the next, a little bit spooky, it's a psychological thriller, is I know people either hate or love. I loved this book. It is so much fun. It is spooky, creepy. Like, it is such a crazy ass story. Like, unbelievable. Like, dark, twisted story that is just, I think that's what makes it amazing. Like, it's so unbelievably creepy and just like disturbing that it's just so good. And like, I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends and people that are not even book readers, like they're not readers, read this book and like devoured it, because you have to know. It's one of those books, like if you want that feeling of like, you can't put this book down, you have to know this is the book. If you're not a reader and you don't mind a psychological thriller and that creepiness, this is the book that I recommend anybody to read. All right, the next one, since we're on the Colleen Hoover train, this is probably not gonna be a surprise. It Ends With Us. I loved it. Please read the trigger warnings on this before you read it. It has some domestic violence. It's got just some really sad shit in here, okay? But it's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful story of strength, and I loved it. And I don't care that there's cheesiness like Ellen DeGeneres and Finding Nemo. I don't care. I loved Finding Nemo and I grew up watching Ellen DeGeneres, so I don't care. I loved it. I loved it. Every cheesiness I loved, every just heartbreak I loved. Like, it is such a beautiful story. And I think, didn't she say it's like based off her mom? I think she did. I'm pretty sure. I did read the It Starts With Us. Did not love it as much as It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us was just everything. Like, even though I really wanted the Atlas and Lily story, it just didn't give me that same feeling as this did when I read this for the first time. Easy to read. It's one of the books that you just are reading and you just can't put down. I love this book. I know it's polarizing, but I love it. 5 stars. 5 stars. I don't know why I'm filming this on the floor. Say no more. Oh. So the first book that I read from Christina Lauren was The Unhoneymooners. Loved it. Oh my god. I actually listened to that. I remember telling my friends, like, it feels like a movie, just rom-com kind of movie, and I loved it. I devoured it. It was wonderful. Just, it is such a good book. It's an enemies to lovers, and they're just, it's enemies to lovers, it's forced proximity, it's just all the things I love in a book in one. And it feels like you're reading a movie. Like, it just, I can see it in my head. I can see them both. The only like about it is like the last like portion of the book that feels like a little unnecessary, but whatever. I'm here for the drama. But another Christina Lauren that I find that's a 5-star read is Love in Other Words. It is so adorable. It is so adorable. They are childhood friends to lovers. It's beautiful. The guy, he's like a book guy, and he loves words, and just seeing their love just develop through the book, beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful, I don't want to say cozy, but it's just heartwarming. And I'm usually not big into like, I'm not really big into friends to romance. Like, I really do love enemies to lovers. Like, I just love the drama, all right? I am the drama. I love the drama. I love the banter back and forth. But this just feels very heartwarming. Just good read. The next book is The Flock. It's the Ravenhood series. It was wonderful. I remember feeling thinking when I was reading The Unhoneymooners from Christina Lauren, I was like, ooh, the spice, like, yes, love this. So I thought I was a smutty book reader until I read The Flock. I was like, oh, what? It was my first reverse harem, and I'm like, excuse me? What? Tucker, you're in my brain. I was like, I always describe this book as like if you took Sons of Anarchy, Fast and the Furious, and then threw in some romance and some like spice, that is The Flock. That is the Ravenhood series. It is so good. It was just such a fun read. I read that on my Kindle. I think if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's on there, the whole series. It is so much fun, like, to read, and just the second book, I gave it a 4 stars, but it was still wonderful. Crying. I just loved the first book so much. It was just so much fun that if you're into, like, that was, I think, my first introduction to real, like, spicy books. I was like, is this like softcore? Like, what is this? Like, excuse me. So loved it. Loved the book. And if you've not read it, please read it. All of these books, if you have not read it, put it on your TBR. Like, they are just so much fun to read. Should I listen to the audiobooks for this? Because the snippets I'm hearing from TikTok when Dom's like, we love the rain, don't we, baby? I'm like, I feel like I need to listen to the series to just get it a little bit more, just to like feel the story a little bit more. And I hear like there's even more smutty books, even more smuttier books out there than that. Like, I'm listening right now to Hooked. I'm like slightly embarrassed, not kink shaming or anything, but I'm embarrassed in the sense, like, if somebody catches me listening to this book, I'm going to die. Reading The Flock and then now listening to Hooked, I've realized that all of the smutty books that I thought I was reading, or spicy books that I thought were spicy, are nothing compared to what's out there. It's another book club book that we picked, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I felt, as I was reading this, it's another one of those that I felt like I could easily see this being turned into a movie. It is fun to read. I like the character development, and like throughout like the whole town, like you get to kind of know this whole small town, and it is so much fun. It is so much fun. I love Knox. Loved him. He's just a grumpy, wants to be alone type of dude, and I loved him in Naomi's story. it was just so much fun to read and go into their story, and like I can envision it, and I love that. I love when I read a book and I can see the world in my head, and it's not hard to get there. Like it's like, yeah, like I'm here, like I'm about it, I'm in this town, you know, looking for my crazy ass twin sister, like I'm just in it, okay? And then dealing with this grumpy ass guy that's trying to protect me but also wants nothing to do with me. Like I just loved it, okay? And I always say I love my book boyfriends to be a toxic as fuck, okay? I love that in books. I would not accept it in real life, but in books, please give me that. Please give me the like irrational jealousy, like you don't want me to be with somebody else but then you don't want to commit. Fuck you. But yes, I want that in the book, okay? That's what I want. I want it, I want it, I want it. And I loved it, okay? Loved this story. It was so much fun. And she's thick. She's a thick girl. How many pages? Like over 553 pages. And I have the second book. My cousin got it for me. She's gonna love that I mentioned her. So I'm my cousin, hi Charswell. Every video that I've posted, she's like, oh my god, you mentioned me. Oh my god, you mentioned me. So I told her, I was like, you're like the third main character of my life. Like I'm usually talking about her, to her, with her, just anyways. So me and her loved this book. Like we loved it. She bought the second book and she accidentally got two, so she gave me the other one. So we were big fans of this. It was just a fun read. We are down to the last two and they kind of go hand in hand. It's also another one of our book club books. I have seen this book around, right? Because it's a very, very popular book. And I've kind of put my nose up to it. I did. I was like, I don't want to read that. Like, I'm not a fantasy reader. I'm gonna start right there. I'm not a fantasy girly, okay? Or I wasn't. So I kind of put my nose up to it. I was like, am I about it? I don't know. But it got picked as our book club book, so I had to read it. And it's changed my life. I'm so dramatic. It is so wonderful. It is so wonderful. It's literally my personality for the last 2 weeks. I haven't felt this way since Twilight. Big Twilight fan. I feel like I feel that same feeling with these books. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, slight spoiler on Court of Thorns and Roses and Mist of Fury. Loved it. I loved that the first book was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I loved it, okay? I did fall in love with Tamlin. I did. I just loved watching Feyre go from survival mode to learning how it is to be like taken care of. And then on the flip side of her falling in love, it's almost like, and then watching her fall in love with her first love. Because I know she like had that guy on the side, but I don't think she loved him. I think she loved Tamlin. I think that was her first love. And like sometimes first loves don't last. But it doesn't mean that they weren't like important parts of your life. And that's how I see Tamlin. Is that was that first toxic, crazy ass, like head over heels, you would go under the mountain and like die for that man, okay? Like that was that love, right? So I devoured this within days. I stayed up way too late. I have been in a fairy haze. Like I have been in it. Like this was beautiful, okay? And I'll talk more about it, probably saying the same thing in my book club recap video. If Tamlin was like your first real toxic stage ass boyfriend, to me, Rhysand is the one that helps you realize, if you don't realize it yourself, that that man was trash, okay? He was trash, he wasn't worth it, and helps you find, not that you need a man to help you find, but sometimes it happens that way, okay? That he helps you see like how someone should actually love you. And to find your own strength. And I love this man. And I don't want to give too much away, but loved it. I loved these books. Both of these, so I'm on the third book, so I can't say anything about the third book yet. 5 stars, wonderful. Can't wait to see them as movies. I heard they're gonna be TV shows. Can't wait to see them as TV shows. Like, they are just great. Like I said, I'm not a big fantasy reader. It's really hard kind of to review books because, like, I don't want to say too much because if you want to read it, like, I don't want to say too much about it because I want you to enjoy it. Like, I want you to be like, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. These are it. These are my 5 stars. If you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts on them, if you loved them or didn't like them. So if you have any 5 stars that you've read that I haven't mentioned that you think I should read, please let me know. I would love that. Otherwise, that's it. That's it from me. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.